Random thoughts. In this video, I'm going to read a part of Sir Charles Eliot's book, The East Africa Protectorate, published in 1905, where he discusses that Ludwig Krapf and Rebmann were ridiculed in Europe for saying that Mount Kenya and Mount Kilimanjaro had snow at the top, because during that time, of course, there were theories that these were mountains that were found in the tropics, and to the smartest people during this time, there was no way you were going to have a mountain in the tropics having snow caps. It was not possible. So when Rebmann and Krapf, and these are two individuals who were missionaries, mostly missionaries, and of course explorers, came to East Africa in late 19th century, and they were moving about, and they did set up, of course, a few missionaries, including rabbi, but mostly rabbi. So when they go back to Europe and they tell the people there that, guess what, there are mountains in the tropics that have ice caps. Everybody laughed at them like, these people don't know what they are talking about. There is no possibility that that is even remotely possible. And I'm going to read a part of this book where Sir Charles Eliot discusses that. He says, he fully describes Kenya, and that's Mount Kenya, and he's talking about Krapf here, Ludwig Krapf, who went to that part, and he met Chief Kivoi. If you know the history of Kenya, you'll know Chief Kivoi. So he says Ludwig Krapf describes Kenya, or Mount Kenya, which he first saw on the 3rd December 1849, and observed two large horns or pillars as it were rising over an enormous mountain to the northwest of the Kilimanjaro, covered with white substance. It is a curious example of the worthlessness of much vehement criticism, particularly criticism based upon theories and applied to facts, that the existence of the snow-capped mountains seen by Krapf and Rebmann were discredited in many quarters, even by Livingstone, and most unmerited abuse was showered on the explorers. On returning from Ukamba, Krapf went to Europe, and after a short rest wished to return to Rabai in 1854. But on the way out was taken seriously ill in Egypt and had to abandon missionary work in Africa. In 1860, he published his travels and researches and missionaries' labors during 18 years residence in Eastern Africa, and a most instructive and readable book. The interest which it created induced 2 English and 2 Swiss missionaries to proceed to Mombasa, whither they were escorted by Krapf, who introduced them to the country. Owing to political difficulties with the Arabs, only Wakefield remained at the station of Ribe near Rabai, where he was afterwards joined by New. Both of them did good work in geographical explorations. Wakefield investigated the Tana and the Pokomo country, and New ascended Kilimanjaro and actually handled the snow. So there was this lack of belief that there is a way, or there was a way, that mountains found in the tropics could have snow caps, because the general understanding during this time was that the tropics were too hot for that the tropics could not allow that to happen. So when Rebmann and Krapf come and they see snow, they go back and say, oh, we saw mountains that have snow caps. They were told, like, no, there's no way that's even possible. But of course, later on, it was proven to be actually the case. Those are my random thoughts.